Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As Rox is about to title today's video, here to talk about the truth about the pluck steal patch in NBA 2K23. And yes, as you can see, the gameplay patch notes that you can see right here. First, note that it has reduced on-ball steal effectiveness when reaching across the ball handler's body and from behind. Now, a lot of people have gone in a frenzy about this information and news and gone to say things like 99 steal will be useless, 99 steal builds are completely irrelevant, you don't need to make them anymore. I will say it does obviously lean into the favor of 6'9" that only get glove on silver. It is a small, minor loss, in my opinion, to the 6'7" and 6'6" pure locks, but I don't think this is something that's completely build breaking and build altering. I will say it's just playstyle altering. For those people that really stay behind ball handlers and strictly go for back plucks, yes, this will hurt you a lot, actually. It'll completely extinct your build. It'll just put it in the dirt, simple as that, because if all you do is go for those back steals, I promise you, they're completely out of the game. I have tested this now with some gameplay that I'm going to show with you guys in today's video. Compare and contrast between pre-patch and after patch, literally just yesterday and then into today, where I have some wrecked gameplay. But nonetheless, I'm here to show you a couple stat sheets, essentially, and compare and contrast between night 1 and night 2. So night 1 that I'm going to be showcasing right here is with the back steals enabled. And this is me on my 6'6" pure lock build. It's called the little big man, and I will have some more gameplay of this build pretty soon here. I don't know how to really cut it up into Rex like gameplay and stuff like that, but as you can see, I'm 6'6" with 16 rebounds, 16 points, and 7 steals as well. Albeit 3 fouls, 4 turnovers, I understand, but nonetheless, my whole point here is this right here. You can see 7 steals, and a lot of this is due to the back plucks, to be completely honest with you. I'm going for core badge progress on my glove that I'm very thankful I did on this night as well, because if I were to try and do that after, I'm not going to be a big fan of it. And to be fair, you can sit here and respond to that and say, well, Laker, if you really think that you're not going to be affected by this patch, if you're someone that is really glove oriented, and the fact that I'm already just in general saying that I'm very thankful that I did it on night 1 right here where it is a thing, in comparison to night 2 where it's not a thing anymore, if that alone speaks to you and you're like, Laker's bluffing, he's completely lying, then fair enough. You can go ahead and react to my information however you want to in this video. But my whole point is, a lot of these steals and plucks that I was getting were back plucks. I was going intentionally for just strictly plucks. I was getting beat up the court a good bit of times. As you can see, my man had 18 shot attempts, albeit he had 9 turnovers as well. So it is at a risk reward factor, and you can definitely play different style of defense that would be much more limiting in sense of actually stopping your guy from scoring, but it will lead to you getting less steals, obviously. And that's how you're going to have to play now. It's as simple as that. And I'm a big fan of my style of defense where I don't go for steals very often. As a lot of you guys know, me playing on 6'9", I play very conservative defense. I play pro-am, comp pro-am of all places as well, 6'9" on-ball defender. Nobody else does that in the whole game. But I promise you, with this patch now, people will start playing like me as far as that double 6'9" sides D for the pick and roll defense instead of a 6'7" or 6'6" pure lock. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people are that back pluck fluke steal made. It's about as simple as that. All right, so I'm gonna just show you every box score from this night 1 right here. This was game 3. Now I showed you game 2. Game 1 I didn't really play very well, so I didn't really want to show it. So it was a pretty bad efficiency game, albeit the steals were probably at like 4 or 5, so just keep that in mind. But anyway, this one right here had 4 fouls with 1 steal as well. So you can see this is even on the night that back plucks work, and unfortunately, if they're just targeting like my point guard or something like that in the defense, I can't really get involved, and that's just the truth of being a lockdown or a pure lock for that matter either. But anyway, still win this game plenty manageably, but only 1 steal in this game, even with the back plucks enabled. All right, next game, we end the game with 18, 15, 10, and 5. As you can see, the 5 steals. I was lined up at center this game with also 5 fouls once again. Now, mind you, some of these steals are also me benefiting off, for instance, passing lanes. And in night 2, I'm actually going to be more of like a 3 and on-ball defender, so I didn't really have any games like this. But as you can see, nonetheless, point guard ends with 7 TOs, shooting guard ends with 5 TOs. Not a lot of these were back plucks. I understand it's going to be hard to show you guys kind of the gameplay without, or explain to you the gameplay without showing it to you, but be a long video to showcase all of the things that happen in this game for every steal. All right, next game after that, we play this game with this dude in the green fro. He was killing it, 36 and 13 as well. Just some random that we were playing with, and he was fire. But nonetheless, ending game with 6 steals, 4 fouls. And again, this is a lot of reach-in fouls, as you can probably assume. I'm going for a lot of back plucks. I'm still getting front plucks as well. Trust that that still works 100%. But I want to maybe find one clip where I can show you guys exactly what I'm talking about that I think gets affected, that I don't think should be affected. But we'll look for that right now real quick. All right, so real quick, just want to interject. I'm watching this gameplay back a lot, and a lot of these steals, actually all of them so far, have been interceptor popped, or maybe one glove steal where I was directly in front of him, and then we also have this steal right here that was strictly a bump steal, 100%. So things like this will still be in the game, 100%. Don't get that twisted. And also, the results of this game that ended up showing right here, as you're going to see, are literally like just me getting interceptions and bump steals and maybe one front pluck. Simple as that. Now, Zeke, on the other hand, with 7 steals as his 99 steal point guard build, is still getting a lot of plucks and interceptions as well. But just understand, when I say this to you guys, I really don't think this is a 100% debilitating thing to your build. I will say though, it does, in the grand scheme of things, condense the amount of steals that you will be getting per game. But anyway, I can't really find the example of the one that I'm looking for, unfortunately. I don't know why I can't. Long story short, the whole point of what I was looking for, it was when Zeke would maybe be defending someone who is taking the ball up the court, and I want him to cut off one side really hard, aka cut off a sideline essentially, and just force the point guard one way. And then me, who's guarding the inbounder, would run up on his weak side, aka the side that Zeke is not guarding super heavily, and just inevitably, when he runs away from Zeke, go for that back pluck to the opposite hand. And I think stuff like that should be in the game, but it no longer will be. Simple as that. But anyway, as you can see, Zeke and Denton both combining for 9 steals right here. We had Spade with 2 steals as well. I had 1, Joey had 1, and as you can see, we still end the game with 13 steals. They had 16 turnovers. I mean, this is after patch, and trust that I truly do believe pluck steals are not gone by any means. Me and Zeke both have 99 steal. That's about it on the court for steal rating. So Denton was still getting a lot of lanes, Zeke getting a lot of lanes, and just still getting plucks as well. So stealing the ball is not killed by any means in this patch. And then, as you can see right here, I end this game with 5 steals as our second gameplay, and also like Zeke with 3 steals, Denton with 1. If you want to see this gameplay too, I am more than happy to bring this to you as far as like bringing a gameplay. I mean, obviously I went crazy in this one, and I want to showcase the on-ball defense post-patch as well. But real quick, I'm just going to show a couple of examples in this gameplay of when to and when not to go for steals now in comparison to how you used to think about it. So you're going to see, I got a 6'9" handling the ball right here. Generally, I would think to go for like a back pluck maybe and just play more on his backside right there. And for instance, right here, maybe when the ball is in his left hand and I'm like sort of behind him in a sense, I would go for those. Nowadays, I don't think you can do this. I think if you are at kind of an angle, let's just set the terminology here. So let's say his circle right here, right? On a parallel line, like if you just draw a parallel line right through this circle, I think if you're behind this, you should no longer go for steals. I will say, if the ball is in that ball hand or anything like that, and you're on the ball hand side, aka if I was in front of him, like for instance I am right now, and if this ball hand was in this left hand right here, I could play a little bit further to the left and go for the pluck as soon as he goes for a dribble move or something like that. Or, not to mention, the suction cup steals are still a thing. It's just you have to really be in their face and ready to tap your X button when they go for a dribble move. So nothing has changed as far as the front side glove steal animations at all. It's just, again, back plucks where you animate and just like kind of glitch like straight into them. That's 100% gone. I can't get those at all throughout the whole course of this gameplay. So stuff like that, I just want to show as an example of when not to go for steals anymore, and you have to play more disciplined. Alright, so example number 2, you're going to see, I'm trying to figure out which one is their ball handler. I end up just kind of cutting him off right here, get a nice little clamps animation, and force him to just stop his movement. Now with that stop movement and combining the clamps as well, as you can see, if I want to run this one back just a tad bit, I cut him off, he gets squared up straight with the basket. Now, as soon as he puts that ball on the floor to do any dribble move, and again, I'm also anticipating for the fact that he's probably going to do a little stop and go to the corner if he doesn't touch his right stick, because there's no way out of this unless you touch your right stick or stop and go. The only way he could move without his right stick is probably the same direction he's going, which would be a stop and go. So I'm ready to cut that off also, or just like blitz it and bump steal if he just sprints that way. Not to mention, as you can see, if he goes to that right stick, I'm ready to just go for the glove steal. And it still works, 100%. Don't get that twisted at all. It's still going to be plenty fine when it comes to just trying to draw that ball loose in front of people who are clearly putting the ball down in front of you with 99 steal, and they only have gold unpluckable. It's about as simple as that. This guy clearly does not have Hall of Fame unpluckable. He's way too tall to get that, and if you don't run that, you're going to be at a disadvantage. It's still a thing. But I will say, with this slight minor tweak, it makes it so builds that have gold unpluckable are a little bit more viable. It also makes it so builds that have Hall of Fame glove are a little bit less viable. But in the grand scheme of things, still think of them both kind of equally the same way, personally. Still think of Hall of Fame glove as a pretty big menace on defense, and it will still cause a lot of issues. Think of gold unpluckable as still a decent secondary ball handler, but as soon as you run into someone that has that Hall of Fame glove, you are still going to have problems dribbling right in their face. Don't expect to be able to do stuff like this anymore just because the Twitter heads are out here telling you that glove has been patched 100%, and it's just not even usable anymore. Alright, so I'm gonna give you guys a little throwback right here. We're on the Xbox DVR with it. I used to make all my videos like this, but I want to bring you guys maybe a couple displays of how the glove works and how it doesn't anymore. So what I ended up doing on this one, I was like holding my takeover. I wanted to like pop scare him with this. I wanted to activate my takeover in the exact moment that I was going to try and go for a like pluck steal. And as you can see, I activate takeover right there. Now he flips ball hand. Not only am I kind of in the range of a back pluck, which no longer works anymore, but also a cross body because he switches the ball into his right hand. This right here does not work. I get a reach and foul instead of getting a pluck steal, cross body, anything like that. And that just is not going to go anymore. Simple as that. Alright, so next one. This is me and Zeke playing two-man game defense. As you can see, they're going with their screens between their two guard, like in their one guard right there. And as you're going to see, we just kind of left-right this stuff, and Zeke's on the left with it super hard. I'm on the right with it super hard. And if he moves into the left on Zeke super hard, that 99 steal rating, he is still going to get those pluck steals. You can guarantee it as well. And again, all this eliminates is the back pluck factor. That is literally it. And also, if you're wondering if fluky random pluck steals still happen, as you can see right here, yeah, I mean, this isn't great technique. It's not great setup of a steal or anything like that. But at the end of the day, if perimeter Baz drop and 99 steal rating wasn't getting this with lock takeover every now and then, it'd be a horrible game. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, there'd be no point in making a 6-7 pure lock anymore, or 6-6 pure lock, whatever the case may be as far as your build goes. So just don't over hyper react when it comes to this information. I played the game now. It's still plenty fine as far as pluck steals, and I think this is a good balance for the game. Overall, it is pretty good that the back plucks maybe got touched up a little bit. I still think, truly, and I very passionately think this, by the way, I don't think they should have nerfed it entirely, though. I think it's really stupid to let people with 30 ball handle sit here and dribble the ball comfortably, and if someone's behind you, you just can't steal the ball from them. That's kind of stupid, if you ask me. They should have definitely been more thoughtful with it and more logical with it, in my opinion. But either way, it is what it is. The game stands as it currently is, and as you can see, you're still able to get some plucks. I mean, it's not extinct. They're not dead. It's not that bad, but it is that bad if you're straight back pluck made, and that's it. Alright, last little clip right here. I'm guarding 5 out. It's this B-Black dude. I think he's played with Joe before as well. I think I'm familiar with him for that matter. But anyway, I get stunned. He had an absolutely insane offensive build, by the way. And this is Hall of Fame unpluckable that I'm still plucking right here. I ended up looking at his build. I actually showed it in the gameplay. I'll maybe show the gameplay some other time. He had 97 ball handle though. Hall of Fame killer combos, Hall of Fame clamp breaker, unpluckable, quick for step, all that stuff. It was a pure offensive build. And as you can see, you're still able to get the plucks right here. This is not a bump steal by any means. It literally is a pluck animation, 100%. And that's with me having 99 steal, Hall of Fame glove, him having 97 ball handle, Hall of Fame unpluckable. So it's very rare, in my opinion, that you will see things like that, but it does still happen. It's still possible. And as you can see, I end the game with only 1 steal. That's the only steal I got on him. Aside from that, though, he had 6 turnovers. Most of it was throwing passing lanes. So don't get it twisted. The Hall of Fame unpluckable is still going to be plenty fine and plenty doable. But I'm also not sitting here looking at my own 6'6" pure lock and thinking, oh man, I wish I never made this build. This is a horrible, useless build now that the pluck steals are gone off the back plucks. I will say though, like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm glad I grinded that Hall of Fame glove progress when it was back pluck city in the rec, and I was able to just spam stuff like that because the activation of it was so much more often and it was so much more relied upon, essentially. And now I'm just glad I don't have to deal with that because it's going to be a much slower process. But you can still play legitimate defense. And also, by the way, when I was in that night 1, I didn't have clamps or challenger. In this gameplay right here and tonight, I did have clamps and challenger activated because I was able to then core, like I said, the glove and interceptor from night 1 progress. So either way, my whole point is you can still steal the ball. I know I've said it a lot of times here, but regardless, that's what I'm trying to say. And I hope you guys don't over hyper react to the information in the news like everybody usually does. But anyway, that's all for video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, for to drop a like, sub if you're new to them, notice all that good stuff. And like always, tries 1 to 2,000 likes. I know there wasn't a whole lot of entertainment purpose in this video. I do want to get some of the rec gameplays to you guys, but I'm probably just more thinking to do it in like a post-com style and its own little dedicated video. Didn't want to show straight up rec gameplay too much in this video. Just wanted to show some highlights essentially. But anyway, if you made it to the end of the video, put Zeke in the comment, show support me all the way through, or put Denton in the comment, show support me all the way through. But Anyway, that's all for the vid. Hope y'all enjoyed and stay tuned. We will have a couple more. I think the next video should be a Rate My Build series continuation, and it's going to be rating people's day one builds. So stay tuned for that tomorrow as well. But anyway, that's all for the vid. Hope y'all enjoyed. None of that. Take it easy, man. Peace.